And welcome, everybody. It's Shakes Ngwenya and Peter the Toy. We're talking Sundowns, and it's the first leg of the Champions League final. Guys, please don't forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Come on, Sundowns, guys. We want to win that. We want to win the final. The more you subscribe, the more chance we're going to win in the final. Shakes, this was going to be an incredibly excited, happy show. It's a bit of a damper now with that last-minute goal, but I want to talk more from the start of the game because there's a story in this game, and I think it's a story of Cardoso, quite frankly, and I'd like the viewers out there to give us your opinions about my concern, what I want to bring to the table. It's fantastic the team's in the final, but I'm just a bit concerned that Cardoso errs on the side of caution a bit too much. And I know it's easy, and we'll talk about areas where I thought a little bit more bravery could have benefited Sundowns. And I think during the game, you and I agree with it. But let's talk about it. First of all, a great crowd, a great trophy, a full house. Everything looked good, but Pyramids surprised me at the start. How much they came at it. What did you think of their start?
Oh, definitely, Peter. I was surprised as well. They didn't sit back. They came to play. From the first whistle, they came out to play. They showed Sundowns that they here to try and win the game. From the first whistle, you could see that they're not here to defend and try and win at home. And I think I was surprised by that. And they looked very dangerous in the first half, And credit to Cardoso, for changing it up immediately with putting on Jaden. I think that became better in the second half when they had more control of that midfield, But first half definitely belonged to Pyramids.
So, interesting thing, Shakes. Let's just think about this. Now, I just said that Cardoso is primarily a cautious coach. But funny enough, if you look at the lineup, didn't make any sense to me because it basically gave the midfield to Pyramids. And Pyramids, in my opinion, overran Mokoena and Lenda in the first half. That's why they looked so dangerous, because you really there was no third midfielder. You had obviously Reyners, you had Ribeiro, and you had Matthews, and you had Sales, basically 4 attacking players. And there was no third midfielder, so to speak, and I think that's what gave Pyramids the upper hand, which is contrary to what you think of, because it was a very attacking lineup, but they didn't play to that attacking lineup. I thought when I saw that lineup, they may almost like play the ball longer and skip out the midfield, because there were just 2 midfielders there. Yes, I know Salesi is supposed to drop into that space, but he's not essentially a midfielder. He's an attacking player. Matthews also more of an attacking player. Do you think he got it wrong, actually? Well, he clearly did. That's why he made the change.
Yeah, I think he realized that he got it wrong there, Sundowns always dominate possession of the ball, and it was surprising, Alande, every game, he gets that freedom to play the ball. He's one of the highest, he's got one of the highest passing rates for Sundowns, but we didn't see it this game because they were closing him down. Like you say, Peter, Pyramids really dominated that midfield, they were overworked, Mokoena and Alande. So I was surprised how he started there, and even also with the substitute. Yes, it was good that he made that substitute early, but I don't think he took out the right person. I think Matthews was giving them problems, with his speed. I think he should have kept him on and maybe took out Sales. But
I agree.
Yeah,
I think that spot on. I was going to say that I think then even when he made the change, that was right to make the change, but he took the wrong player off, because essentially, again, Sales is not a left-sided player. He seemed lost. He had he's a very good PSL player, but he's definitely looked lost in this game. He didn't, I don't think he caused any problems. And I agree with you. Bring in Adams, and then Matthews would have still played as a half midfield in a half striker kind of position, a half winger position. Be able to help back in defense to turn it into a 4-man midfield, and then also to go forward as a 3-man. Interestingly enough, I thought the best player for Sundowns was a defender again, Madao. Absolutely first class. I don't know what you thought.
Definitely. I think his quality, Mudau was so efficient at the back. winning every battle that comes his way there, and also chipping in with the goal coming from him from his cross. So yeah, he was very impressive. I thought him and Reyners was giving Pyramids problems in the first half. Definitely, I think Mudau is one of the best players for Sundowns today. Surprisingly, Ribeiro, you would have expected more from him, but didn't really come to the party before he scored that goal. Showing his quality. Just relaxing and putting it in the back of the net. But yeah, playing at home, you would expect the attacking players to give more, but Mudau was the man who shined today at the back.
Kurt, you mentioned Reynard. Reynard obviously does a lot of work on the ball. He's powerful, he's strong, he holds the ball up well, knows how to shield the ball. But in this kind of game, in cup finals, and this level of game, when you get a half chance or a three-quarter chance, you've got to put them away. And I'm not sure if it was a corner or free kick with he got the free header at the far post, and he was a couple of meters out. He had to hit the target there. He had to bring the keeper in to save, and he hit it basically straight down. He was aiming for near post, but what you go 1-0 up there, it's a different game, and it's so crucial in this level of football. It's in the PSL, that's the problem with Sundowns in the PSL. They can miss 3 chances. It makes no difference. They'll still win. And I think it breeds bad habits. And I'm not, again, it would have made a big difference if Rangers got that earlier goal. And as you say, I don't think it was any surprise that Ribeiro was quiet, because if you were Pyramids, arguably Ribeiro is probably may well be the best player in Africa, never mind the best player in South Africa. So you're definitely going to, they closed him down continuously. And that again talks to the point you made about you should have kept Matthews on the field, because Matthews makes the field bigger by staying wide, whereas Salles, when he plays, obviously naturally he's going to drift in and drift deep, which plays into the hands, I think, of a team like Pyramids when you want to close somebody like Ribeiro down. So I don't quite understand what the role. Could you tell me what role he actually had Salles playing? And it's not Salles' fault. The coach obviously had a particular role for him. I couldn't see. He wasn't between the lines. He wasn't getting it wide. He wasn't getting to feet in build-up play. I'm not sure. What do you think his actual role was? He wasn't up front high. What was his actual role?
Yeah, well, we normally see him, Peter. We normally see him playing, coming deep to collect the ball, and it's been working in the PSL for him. He's been coming onto his right form, but he's always slow to get into the game. Like today as well, I didn't see much of him today. So I'm not sure, Peter, what role he was playing, because he's far away from Reyners, and Reyners also needs a lot of support close to him for him to shine, So I think Reyners was a bit isolated, alone, and you couldn't see Salles either joining in with Alande to receive the ball and joining in with Reyners. So yeah, I wasn't too sure what his role was there.
So again, not knocking the coach, but it looked like he picked a very attacking side, but it was a kind of lopsided side. So possibly he made the wrong first 11 choice by not having Adams in there. And then secondly, he made the wrong choice by taking Matthews off instead of Salles. But the second half, to credit to Sundowns, and therefore obviously credit to the coach as well, the side looked way better, and Pyramids didn't have control in the second half with Adams there in the middle of the park. Sundowns got more into the game. And Ribeiro, it's amazing. Shakes, you were the same kind of player. You could keep Shakes quiet for majority of the game, but give him a chance where you've got to bring some magic in and the ball's in the back of the net. Like all of you left footers, great balance, being able to pick it out. It really was quality. I mean, it was an absolute. To all young players out there, you get the ball in the box. He wasn't in a rush. He was calm. He didn't try to rocket it to the top. He controlled it easily. As he got the ball, he knew what he was going to do. Control it, pick his spot, top corner, no chance. But lucky that the keeper was down at the near post and not on his feet. But I think even if the keeper was up, he would battle to get there. And that is the difference. I mean, you played with players like Surprise, and that they can be quiet for a whole game, but you give them one bit of space and they'll score. But How would you have tried to free Ribeiro up if you're the coach? Because it isn't very important that your best player gets freed up. And it was clear what was happening. What would you have done? What would Shakes have done in that position as well as the player?
Yeah, Peter, we've got a player like Mshishi, I think this was his type of game, Immediately after we scored, we've got the crowd behind us, and he's one player who can put his foot on the ball, get the crowd behind us. He can create something, for a player like Ribeiro, So I think too much pressure is on Ribeiro. Whereas we have a player like Mshishi who can put a foot on the ball and silence the opposition, with his flair and create something for us, So that's if I have to critique the coach, that's one thing I'd really say. He needs to be more brave, and give a player like Mshishi a chance. Today I think it definitely was his game.
Absolutely. Shakes, I set you up there with the ball. The Maito was facing the right way. You just had to finish there, because I agree with you completely. I thought that that was the moment where fortune favors the brave. I mean, fans out there, viewers out there, Sundowns fans out there, I'm sure you agree that you're up 1-0, you're buzzing, you want your talisman to come on the field, because what would Zwane have done? He would have attracted their defenders. He would hold the ball up, get at the crowd buzzing, and suddenly the focus is completely off Ribeiro. Or not completely off, but they've got to hang on this man. And it's only natural. The more he keeps the ball, more touches it, the defenders are drawn to a magnet towards him. Suddenly you've got Ribeiro free, and you give Ribeiro a free moment. And also in a cup game, he can keep the ball and hold the ball, and that because Sundowns didn't keep ball well. The ball would go forward. It wasn't the typical Sundowns piano and Shushan where we keep it, find the opening, go, which would have been a great way to frustrate. And I thought at 1-0, you needed a Mshishi on there. He could frustrate them, hold the ball, and they'd start diving in, and suddenly you'd find space. So I agree with you totally. Another point that we spoke about, you and I spoke before the game, and we said that against Pirates, and that's, I must admit, it's the only time I've seen Pyramids play this season, crosses were they really, really dangerous. And 10 out of 10 to the coach and 10 out of 10 to the players. They kept, for 99.9% of the game, they kept Pyramids at bay with basically blocking the crosses for the entire damn game. And then in the last kick of the game, they let the wide player turn onto his right foot and put a cross in, curling away from the defenders towards the keeper. Guy comes into the far post goal. So the cross should not have been allowed to come in. There were enough Sundowns players there, but let's leave that just for the time being. A question, very difficult for me. Do you think looked like the defenders were leaving it for Williams? Do you think it's something you could have come for? A goalkeeper is his caliber? I mean, he's got full sight of the ball for 30 meters.
Yeah, it's difficult to judge, looking at it from the TV, Peter. But what I can say, it was an in-swinger, which makes it difficult for the goalkeeper. He's not sure whether to come in and get it or come out, because it's swinging out to away from him. So I think Williams opted to let it go there, and it was just a quality run. And the ball played between the defenders and the striker, is always dangerous. At a critical phase of the game, the concentration leapt there. And yeah, unfortunately, that was the game. If we defended that one, we would have taken a lead to Pyramids. But I don't think it's all lost. Sundowns, I think, are a quality team playing away from home. I think they are able to get a result, especially against a Pyramid team that's going to be coming at them. You can see them. They're not a team that's afraid. They come at teams. They did it with Pirates as well. So I think they will give Sundowns a chance. I think tactically, the coach must get it right. He mustn't try and defend too much playing away from home. We need to win this game, to win the Champions League. So I think he must be bold, and it must play the players that we know can make a difference, and give them a chance, because We have to win the game in Egypt. There's no other way.
So, again, just before we carry on that, I just want to make a further point about the goal. You know, football is a game of fine margins, and we have to give credit for the cross that came in, and the run into the box from the Pyramids player to score the equalizer. So, so fine margins. You know, a little bit more on the ball, and Sundowns could have cleared it. So, a very good goal. But I was just hoping that somehow we could have got and stopped that cross coming, or maybe Williams could have got a defender, got a touch. But going still on this game, what did you think about Adele? I thought he was well managed by Madar. I thought he was, I mean, he's a top player. And I think he's going to have some doubts in Cairo whether he can do damage against Madar, because Madar had him in his pocket. I don't think he had a real run. I'm not sure if he made the cross at the end. I don't think so. I can't remember now. But he looked out the game. But Fist and Mayela, even though he didn't score and he missed one, or you could say missed a half chance or two, he looked a handful, and he's going to be a big handful in Cairo, and he's got pace. And my worry, this is what I want to ask you, in Cairo, if we defend deep, we're going to be in trouble because they will get crosses in. If we push up, he's quick to get in those spaces behind. Would you make any changes in the back four? Would you bring in an inexperienced player like Koza? Would you bring in someone like Suarez, who's got a lot of pace? Or would you keep it as is?
I think at the back I'd keep it as is, Peter. I'm a big fan of Koza, but I think in a game like that, away from home, you know, it's a bit too much pressure on him. You know, I think I'd keep it with this experience, with this team. But definitely, it would be a big mistake if Sundowns want to defend and sit back. You know, Mayela showed today what quality he has. You know, when he's on the ball, he's looking dangerous all the time. Credit to Sundowns for dealing with it in the second half, because second half we hardly saw him. But you know, it is going to be a problem, especially away from home. Sundowns really need to deal with him. And I think the best way to do that is to attack Pyramids, you know, and go forward. And I think that'll give our defenders less pressure.
I think this should, I don't know what you think. I'll give you my lineup that he should start with and the way he should start. And viewers out there, tell us what you think the Sundowns lineup should be for the second leg, and how Cardoso should play in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe. I think obviously same goalkeeper, same back four, and the same midfield three: Adams, Mokoena, and Lende, and up front Ribeiro. But I think he should start with Shalalile and Reyners on the bench, and have Matthews wide, because we need to stretch them. And Matthews got the legs. You know, because we need to play it longer if necessary. And Shalile's got the legs as well. So we need to stretch them in case we get pinned back a little, that you got two guys you can knock it wide to. But I think I would definitely, and then you got Reyners that you can bring on a little later. But I would definitely look at bringing Zwane on for a good part of that second half, because they've never played against him. He's a Bafana player. He's a big match player. You cannot, if he's definitely fit enough to play 45 minutes, and he's got to play he has got to play for a large part of that second half, because he'll win the game for Sundowns, in my opinion. You can't keep a good man down. You can't keep such talent hidden behind the curtain that he was in this first half. And hopefully the coach is saving him for that second half. I don't know what you think.
I totally agree with you, Peter. You know, I really think if Themba was on the game today, if he came on today, would have had less pressure. You know, Pyramid kept coming at us, but we know what Shishi does when he's on the ball. He's like he's the orchestra. You know, he's the one who he decides the pace of the game. You know, he can cool it down. He's that type of player. So I think we needed him today, and definitely we will need him away from home, you know, because we're going to be under a lot of pressure. So we need somebody who's going to put the ball the ball on his foot and you know and give us that go ahead going forward. And Shishi is the man for that. You know, he can get us playing.
And he's a big game player. He basically carried Bafana, you know, in AFCON. He's a big game player. He knows how to win games for us. He keeps the team calm, and he'll inspire the team and the fans. I think he's the best player in the country, footballer in the country. Ribeiro is always the best goal scorer. From a attacking footballer, there's no attacking footballer like him in the country. Right, last one, prediction. And in the comment section, guys, give us your prediction for the second leg.
Prediction for the second leg. I think Sundowns can rise to the occasion. This is a big one, you know. This is the one they want. It's not going to be easy, you know. Pyramids showed today that they can play, you know. But I believe Sundowns, given the space, you know, and Pyramids are going to be playing, and they're going to also want to win the game. They also have to win the game. So I think the more space they give us, you know, we need to exploit that space, you know, with the likes of Uranus, you know, and your Ribeiros. So I'd say 2-1 to Sundowns, Peter.
Funny enough, I agree with you. That's exactly what I was going to say. And I'm going to tell you, Sundowns will go up 2-0. And they'll get a goal later on, and there'll be a bit of nervous attention towards the end. But even then, if they score, it doesn't matter. We'll still win 2-1. But I just want to say a message to Cardoso. Sundowns is built on the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit, and you can't get to the sky if you're shy. So, guys, Sundowns, the sky is the limit. We play ball. Get your best players on the field. Play to win. See you next week, guys. Shakes, you're a star. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.